those technical difficulties will get you. All right, you guys. So happy Wednesday. Like I said, I'm excited for class tonight. We've got a good and hopefully a little bit challenging workout for this evening. Starting in our comfortable starting position as usual. So whatever that might mean for you, whether that's your comfortable seated position, whether that's hands and knees and you like to do your cat and cow or your child's pose to cobra, maybe you're standing up. We'll do some good core work. We'll do some work from our down dog into our plank and some mountain climbers. So maybe that means you need a little extra shoulder or wrist warm up. Feel free to find any of that. And we'll start, as usual, with our scan of the body, starting from the top of the head and moving to the tips of the toes. As you take that scan, all you're doing is, as always, without any judgment, noticing how you're feeling this evening, noticing where those points of tension are. Maybe, like me, there are some spots for you that are a little bit sore or a little bit tired and could use a little bit of extra attention, a little bit of extra warm up. And also maybe there are some places that are feeling particularly good this evening, can use a little bit of extra challenge, a little bit of extra work this evening as well. As you complete that scan, I invite you to take any initial range of motion that may feel good for you this evening, whether it's a range of motion, a stretch, one of the ones that I mentioned, one that we do all together, or something that, you know, I don't usually hit, but there is a lot of tension there and you'd really like to do that to get yourself warmed up. And we'll just take about 4 more nice deep breaths in that initial stretch, that initial range of motion, whatever that is for you this evening. And just about 2 more nice deep breaths just to finish that out. And if you need a little longer in that initial range of motion, you can just meet up with us in this regular warm-up that we do whenever you feel comfortable doing so. We'll start with the head and the neck. So as you finish your initial range of motion, you can make your way back to that comfortable seated position. We'll start with that nice big inhale to lengthen through the spine. Our exhale, we'll drop the chin to the chest, and then nice and easy, we'll roll the head side to side. Like I said, if that initial range of motion will serve you a little bit better than this in your warm-up, you can continue that for as long as you need to. Just meet up with us whenever you're ready. In this roll of the head and the neck, let's just go one more time in each direction. If you need that third change of direction, just to even it out, please feel free to find that third. And then when you finish out, go ahead and drop the chin back to the chest. And then your inhale, lift that head back up nice and long, right at center. From there, we're going to go into our shoulder circles. We're just going to do 3 in each direction, up towards the ears and down in that first direction, whichever you like best. When you finish those first 3, go ahead and release and relax those shoulders, blow away from the ears, and then switch it up. 3 in that second direction, and then relaxing down. Right into our lateral, our side-to-side stretches. Next inhale takes us up. Nice big stretch, long away from center, and we'll just go twice in each direction on this lateral stretch, a little bit longer of a hold. Exhale, brings that hand down, opposite arm reaches, so we've got those fingertips up nice and high, and that hip grounded down into the mat, so creating a lot of length down that side of the body. With your next inhale, whatever it may be, go ahead and bring it up through center, find that nice big stretch, and then exhale down to that second side. Same thing, create a lot of length through that high hand and that low hip. Find that nice little bit of extra space. And then let's just go one more time in each direction with your next inhale. Bring it up through center. Exhale down to that first side. And last time with that change of direction. Down to that second side. And we'll go right into our spinal twist from here. So with your next inhale, bringing it back up to center. And then exhale takes us down in that first direction, whichever side you like more. As always, arms can stay low or go high as you come through center. And let's just go a couple times at your own pace. Inhale brings you to that long spine. Exhale brings you in that other direction. So side to side. And as always, if you like a little bit more of a hold on this one, feel free to stay a little longer in one direction or the other. Or if you like a little bit more of that active warm up, feel free to keep it moving a little bit side to side. And let's go twice more in each direction. Or if you're holding a little bit longer, maybe just that nice switch after one more nice deep breath and bring it over the other side. I'm going to finish out with 2 more nice deep breaths to hit my last 2, and then we'll meet back at center. Whew. My lower back is a little bit tight tonight. After that last one, that final inhale brings you back up to center. And then that exhale either brings those arms down or just relaxes and releases those shoulders nice and low away from the ears. We'll do our 3 regular lower body stretches. So one foot stays in, other foot comes out nice and long. We're going to start by just finding that nice, easy fold, tracing those fingertips down towards the shin, the ankle, the toes, round out the spine, find that nice deep stretch down into it. I can tell that I've already stretched twice today because I've got a little bit of extra reach. All right, so we're going to do our halfway lift, kind of like we did, I believe, in Monday's class. If you weren't here, no worries. I will re-explain. So we're starting in our nice fold. I've got my spine a little bit rounded out here. We're just going to come up as far as we need to find our long spine. So just like we would from our forward fold, our standing forward fold, we're coming to our halfway lift just to that spot where you can get your long spine. So I'm not releasing the hinge at the hips. That's still going to be the same, but I'm not rounding into the spine to get a little bit deeper. So that nice long spine, that active core, and that just changes that profile of our stretch so that we're hitting the back of the leg. You can point the toes up towards the ceiling to get a little bit more of a calf stretch and just get as much of a reach as you can. This is probably going to be a little bit less of a range of motion than when you round out. And we're just going to come back into that deep stretch and one more time to that halfway lift. So with your next exhale, whenever it comes, folding it forward, rounding into it, finding that nice deep stretch. Again, to the shin, the ankles, the toes. Obviously, I stretch a lot, so if you can't quite reach where I'm at, that's okay, as always. And then with your next exhale, whenever it comes, go ahead and bring it back up to that halfway lift, that nice long spine, that flat back, but we're still with that hinge at the hips. So I haven't released that hinge at the hips. It's still down there. And then again, you can point those toes for that little bit of a calf stretch. Final time, we're going to exhale, release, and then inhale, sit it up nice and tall. And we'll just go ahead and switch sides. I'm going to pull that opposite side leg in, take that leg out long, and then here we go. So first one is just going to fold us into it, fingertips trace down. We round out that spine. We get that first nice deep stretch. With your next inhale, go ahead and bring it back up to that halfway, that nice long spine, still keeping that hinge at the hips. Maybe point those toes up if you need that calf stretch. Exhale, folds us back into it, rounding out that spine, reaching those fingertips a little further, opening up those shoulder blades. One more time into that halfway lift. Inhale brings us long spine. Exhale, final time into that nice deep stretch. And then inhale rolls us back up to that long spine, seated up nice and tall this time. All right, and then we're going to go down the center for our third and final stretch. You can choose your foot positioning. If you really like that butterfly stretch, that's fabulous. If you like legs out long together, that's fabulous. If you like legs out long in that straddle, that's excellent. Wherever you'd like to be for this final fold, we're just going to find a nice little bit of a hold in it. So find your preferred foot positioning and then go ahead and fold it forward, bringing those fingertips down. If the legs are long, maybe towards the shins, ankles, or toes. If you're in that butterfly, maybe you walk them out, or maybe you hold on to those ankles and press those elbows out as we fold it forward. Nice big stretch there for the lower body. We've just got about 3 nice deep breaths here, so trying to kind of release and relax into it. One more nice deep inhale and exhale. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and roll it up and release it. We're going to make our way over to hands and knees for our cats and cows. Feel free to grab a sip of your beverage or find any final seated range of motion that you need before you get over there. When you make your way over, go ahead, knees under hips, wrists either right underneath shoulders or a little bit out in front, and then right into that cat and cow, that nice final range of motion, connecting your movement to your breath. And from here, we'll just take 2 more nice deep breaths. So if you haven't made your way into that cat and cow yet, go ahead and join us. Find those last 2 nice deep breaths. And then when you finish those out, go ahead and make your way to your neutral spine. So we're still at our hands and knees, but we've got that nice long spine. From there, we're going to go lateral. We're going to add a little bit of extra side body. So when you get to that long spine, I'm going to look over that right shoulder up next and pull my right hip up towards my gaze. If that feels intense, pretty good, you can stay right there. If you'd like to add to it, I'm going to add my leg in. Left leg is going to step back as if I was going to put it into a plank, so the toe comes down, and then I'm going to bring it around to the right side of my right leg. So I'm still looking over that shoulder. We're creating a lot of length through the left side of the body. If that feels good and you want a little bit more and your balance is feeling okay, you can take that left hand and bring it around to the right side of that right hand. If that balance isn't feeling there today, feel free to keep both of those hands planted or both of those knees planted. But we're still looking over that right shoulder, creating that length through the left side of the body. One more nice deep breath there. And then we're just going to go ahead and switch sides. So planting whatever you lifted there, looking over that left shoulder this time, pulling your left hip up towards your gaze. Same thing, optional, but if you'd like to, right leg can step out nice and long and around to the left side of that left leg. If you find your balance there and want to add to it, right hand can step around to the outside of that left hand. Again, completely optional. And one more nice deep breath here. Bringing it on back to center. We're going to take it out to our puppy next. So those hips stay right up over top of those knees, and go ahead and walk those hands out nice and long. We've got that stretch for the chest. Maybe the forehead comes down to the mat. Taking a moment for that little bit of a shoulder warm up, a little bit of a chest warm up, getting us ready to go into our down dog. Very nice. From here, we're going to press it forward to our Cobra. So I'm just going to walk my hands in an inch or two, press my hips forward, down towards the mat, little lift. As always, baby Cobra is fabulous if that feels better. And then we're going to make our way to our downward facing dog. As always, first inversion of the day, be gentle on yourself. Turn those toes under, activate the core, press the hips up and back. Taking a moment, maybe pedal out those heels, maybe keep that gentle bend in those knees. If that inversion feels a little intense, you can keep the head a little bit lifted. So first, just working on this stretch for the lower body, starting to get used to that inversion. Getting those shoulders and wrists active and ready to go. And let's take our scan of the body in our down dog here, starting from those fingertips. Make sure all 10 fingers are planted on that mat, nice and solid. All that weight and all that pressure shouldn't be in the heel of your hand. We don't want it all to be in those wrists. Those ears are aiming for between the biceps. So if you can get them there, that's nice. If they have to be a little bit out in front, that's totally fine. We're pressing the chest back towards the thighs to create that activation, pulling that core in and up. So it's creating activation as well. Quads are nice and stable, and those heels are pressed down towards the mat for that little bit of an extra stretch. And then from here, we're going to create a little bit more tension by just thinking about pulling those hands and feet towards each other. Now, of course, they're planted, so they aren't actually going to move, but that's just going to create that tension through the body, through the core, by acting as if we're going to pull those hands and feet to each other. Very nice. Let's take it down to our child's pose. Give those shoulders and those wrists a little bit of a break. Send the hips back towards the heels. While you're there, you can give your wrists a little bit of a roll or maybe an up and down if that feels good. Or if it feels better, if you're feeling it through the shoulders, maybe you walk those hands over to that right side, find that nice stretch through the left side of the body. And if you found that right side, go ahead and bring it back through center, take it over to the left. And go ahead and bring it back to center one more time. We're going to come up to hands and knees, plant those hands, bring those knees right underneath those hips. And I just want to get a little bit of a hamstring and hip flexor warm up really quickly before we get into our nice intense flow. So I'm going to walk my right leg forward into my low lunge, and we're going to do our front to back flow, pressing those hips forward and down, finding that stretch. As always, if you like that high hip flexor stretch in your tall torso lunge, you can find that instead. And then we'll shift those hips back, lengthen that front leg, lift those front toes for our hamstring stretch. So just a little front to back. If one feels a lot better than the other or a lot more intense, like you need that stretch, you can always hold there a little bit longer. I'm moving a little faster tonight. You can, as always, move at a pace that feels good for you. And at whatever pace you're moving, let's just take 2 more nice deep breaths. We'll meet in that low lunge just to switch it up, and we're going to move through that hands and knees position again. So I'm going to plant those hands, circle that right leg back around, walk my hands over to the right, and bring my left leg forward. Same thing here. You can find that high or that low lunge, whichever feels better for you, and then that nice, easy front to back range of motion. We're going to do a little quad work with our drift backs today. So I want to make sure that those hip flexors and quads are ready to go. Okay, go ahead and give me 2 more nice deep breaths there. When you finish those, go ahead and meet me back at that lunge, and then we're going to start our flow at hands and knees. So feel free to make that adjustment. Bring it on around over to our hands and knees position. All righty. Getting ready to go here. We're going to take it to our 3-legged dog to half mountain climber. We're going to do that 3 times before we make our way into our lunge. So on the third, we'll step it forward into the lunge. I'm going to take my left foot back, plant my toes. As I send the hips up, that right foot's going to go up and back, 3-legged dog. We're then going to shift it out to that half mountain climber, knee towards between the elbows. There's 1. Here comes 2. Press it up and bring it out for 2. And then this third one, make all the way to our low lunge, or to our lunge. We're going to take it to crescent, so don't set that back knee down. So ankle underneath knee, make your transition there. Find your balance, find your core, sweep it up into our crescent. Very nice. Nice active crescent lunge. Nice bend in that right knee. Warrior 2. Turn the heel down, open the arms. Let's get our front side body stretch with our peaceful. Flip the front palm. We'll lift it up and back. As always, you can reach down or find that half bind. And let's cartwheel it all the way back down. Right hand, left heel. We're going to take 1 more time into our 3-legged dog, and that's going to transition us into our nice controlled mountain climber. We're going to do 3 on each leg. So right foot's going to take us up, 3-legged dog. This time as we shift out, we're taking it to that plank, but instead of taking it back to that 3-legged dog, I'm going to shift that right foot out and bring that left knee in for our mountain climber. There's 1 on each side. We've got 2 more. Keep working with me. After those 6 nice and controlled mountain climbers, we've got 3 push-ups, then we're giving those shoulders a little break. Toes or knees, 3 push-ups, wherever you need to be. And then press it back to your child's pose. Hips back, nice little stretch for those shoulders, nice little stretch for the lower back. All right, we're gonna bring it up to a tall kneeling position. So my feet are staying where they are, my knees are staying where they are. I'm pulling my hips under my shoulders and bringing it up nice and tall. We're working in our sets of 3 today. We're gonna work on those drift backs, like I said. So starting from this position, nice strong core, knees, under hips, under shoulders. I like to take my hands out for a little extra support. You can curl your toes under for a little extra support as well. And just as far as you can go back, lots of quad, lots of core here. Drifting it back a couple inches. And then pressing it back up to that nice long spine, releasing that tension. 2 more, just like that. A little drift back. And then back up. And then that last one just like that. A little drift. And then back up to nice and tall. From there, we're going to bring it all the way down through the mat. So I'm just going to fold it forward, walk it out. and bring it down. We're going to do a little lat work with our Supermans. So we're down onto that mat. Those arms are out nice and long. We're going to lift up and do our lat pulls, 3 of them once again for our Superman. So it's a lift, elbows come down and out for our lat pull down, extend back out and lower down. 2 more just like that. We've got that up, in, out, and down. And then that last one, up, in, out, and down. From here, we're going to take a moment to stretch it out in our Cobra, Baby Cobra, or Sphinx. So Sphinx is going to have those elbows down. We're pressed forward. Baby Cobra has those palms down, but not that full extension. Full Cobra has those arms extended. Nice little stretch, whichever feels best. And so many sirens outside my apartment building today. Sorry if you can hear that. Whew. All right, let's take it back to our downward facing dog. Activate that core first. Turn those toes under. Press those hips up and back. Down to child's pose momentarily. We've got 1 nice deep breath at child's pose, and then we're going to start it back over. So knees down wide, big toes close together, hips towards the heels. Actually, let's take 2 nice deep breaths. If you want to take one of those breaths to roll out anything, grab a sip, feel free. All right, very nice. Let's take it back up to that hands and knees position. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. All righty, so this time we're going to take that opposite side, that right leg out nice and long. That was where we were at, right? Yeah. Left leg is going to go up and back to our 3-legged dog. And then we've got those half mountain climbers, 2 of them. The third one takes us to our lunge. So shoulders over wrists, knees underneath. Press it up and back for that second one. And same thing. And then our third one, we press it up and back. When you get there, we bend that right knee, sweep that leg forward, plant it down. Ankle underneath knee, find our crescent. So sweeping it up. Nice active crescent lunge. Left knee is bent. We're nice and balanced. Very nice on that transition warrior 2. Right heel turns down, arms open. Nice and long from fingertip to fingertip. Peaceful, flips our front palm, lifts us up and back. Let's cartwheel it down. Left hand, right heel lifts. All right, our left leg is going to go 3-legged dog, and then we've got those 6 super controlled mountain climbers. So here we go, 3 on each side. We've got 3-legged dog. We're out into that plank, and then don't send those hips up, as when we come back down, 3 on each side for those mountain climbers. When you finish those, we've got those 3 push-ups, toes or knees, and then bring it down to that child's pose when you're done. So 3 push-ups, toes or knees. They can be tricep or they can be chest push-ups, whichever works better for you. When you finish, give those shoulders a little break. Give me that child's pose. Very nice. That nice big exhale on that press up for those push-ups. Looking good. All right, let's bring it up for those drifts. So again, we're going to come to that tall kneeling position. Knees under hips, under shoulders. Nice active core to keep that in line. Arms out long, 3 of them here. Drift it back just as far as you can go. So if that's an inch or 2, that's fabulous. If it's a little bit further, that's fabulous. Whatever your body is telling you, maybe stop right where it tells you to there. 3 of them. When you finish those, we're coming all the way down to that mat. So walking it down and out, we've got those Lat Supermans. Arms come out nice and long. Once again, we're working in those sets of 3. So here we go. First one, we're going to lift. Elbows come in, out, and lower down. And if you were still on that transition, bear with me. Keep going at your own pace. You know, we've got those sets of 3. I'll give us a little break after this one in our Cobra. So catch up when you've got time. Always making this workout work for you. When you finish that third one, again, Sphinx, Baby Cobra, or Cobra, whichever feels good for you. On that lower back, on that upper back, on that front side body. Very nice, very nice. We're going to take wherever you are here to that downward facing dog. So activate that core, turn those toes under, press that hip, press those hips up and back, both hips, not just one. And we're gonna take just a little bit longer of a rest in our child's pose this time. Knees down wide, big toes close together, hips towards the heels. Give yourself that little bit of a break. If that child's pose is not working for you tonight, feel free to choose another resting pose. We've got about 4 nice deep breaths. Once again, I'm gonna grab a sip if you need one of those. If you need to find a range of motion or a stretch, that's fabulous. This is our recovery time. We're gonna try and hit one more time on each side. Whew. All right, wherever you are, find one more nice deep breath, and then we're gonna make our way back up to that hands and knees position, that starting position. When you get there, let's take just a moment, one nice deep breath for our cat and cow. And then back right up to that neutral, that nice long spine. From here, 3-legged dog to half mountain climber. We've got those first 2 all the same, and then that third one will take us to that low lunge. So I'm gonna start by sending my left foot back nice and long, toe down. Here we go, 3-legged dog, send that right foot up and back to half mountain climber, pulling it underneath. Here's 1, send it up, take me out for 2, and then that third one, use your transition to take it to that lunge. So bend that knee, sweep it forward. When you get there, use that assist if you need it. Find your balance, find your core, sweep it up. Take a moment in this position. We've got that nice bend in that right knee. Again, if your left leg isn't super tight, maybe we've got that long left leg. If you need that bend in the knee, that's also completely fine. And give those shoulders that little bit of space between them and the ears. So we're activating our lats, we're pulling our shoulder blades down into our back pockets. Warrior 2 turns that left heel down, opens those arms. Whew. Peaceful, flips the front palm. Let's lift it up and back. And let's cartwheel it down. Right hand comes over and down. Left hand comes over. Left heel lifts. 1 3-legged dog gets us into our 6 or 3 on each side mountain climbers. Here we go. So right foot brings us to that 3-legged dog, and then we pull it out to those mountain climbers. 6 total, 3 each side, nice and controlled. Stay with me here. After those, we've got those 3 push-ups. Toes or knees, as always. Toes or knees. Your exhale on that, press up. When you finish those, find that child's pose. Hips back towards the heels, nice little stretch for the shoulders, nice little release for the knee or for the wrists. Fabulous. And we've got those drift backs up next. So let's bring it to that tall kneeling position. Knees under hips, under shoulders. Whew. It's hot in here. Shouldn't have worn a sweatshirt tonight. Lesson learned. All right. So finding that nice strong core position, arms out. We've got 3 of them. Here we go. Drifting it back. Find that little pause at your end of range of motion, and then bring it back up. Again, maybe it's just an inch or 2. Maybe you're not getting super far back, but you feel it in the quads and in the core, and that's totally fine, however far back you go. And that third one, after your third, we're bringing it all the way down. We've got that lower back and those lats in our Supermans with our lat pulls. So bringing it down, walking it out, however you need to get there. Taking those arms up overhead, and whenever you're ready, whenever you bring it down, we've got 3, so it's going to be that lift, in, out, and down. Elbows come down, pull the shoulder blades together, tuck the shoulder blades into your back pocket, pull it back out, and lower it down. 3 of those, and then again, that recovery pose is your Sphinx, your Cobra, or your baby Cobra. And we'll take 3 nice deep breaths. If you're finishing those up, finish those up. This is going to take us through our down dog to our child's pose. So if you prefer to skip the down dog today for this second to last one, please feel free to, and just meet us in that child's pose. If not, pulling it in, activate the core, press the hips up and back, nice deep breath, and then send those knees down wide and hips back towards the heels. All right, we've got 3 nice deep breaths, and then we've got our 4th and final time through. So again, if you need that sip, if you need that readjust, if you need any kind of little stretch or range of motion, one more nice deep breath wherever you are. Alrighty, fourth and final time. We've just got to hit that second side one final time. Let's bring it up to hands and knees. You guys got this. Stay with me. All right, our three-legged dog to half mountain climber, 2 of them. Our third three-legged dog is going to take us into that lunge. Right foot goes back, left foot presses up and back, and then out to that half mountain. There's our second, and then my third one's going to take me all the way forward to that lunge. So make that a little bit more aggressive of a transition if you need to. Ankle underneath, find your balance. Nice and controlled, sweep it up. Again, we've got that nice active crescent lunge, that bend in that left knee, that long right hip flexor, those shoulders tucked low away from the ears, scalps tucked into the back pockets. Warrior 2 opens the arms, turns the right heel down. Keep that bend in our left knee. Takes us to our peaceful. Flip that front palm, lift it up and back. Nice front side stretch. Very nice. Let's cartwheel it down. Left hand, right heel. Here's our three-legged dog to our 6 mountain climbers. So whenever you're ready, three-legged dog brings us into those 3 each for those mountain climbers, nice and controlled. This is our last set of these. You guys got this. Stay with me. When you finish those, 3 push-ups, toes or knees. After that, we're pressing it down into that child's pose. Knees wide, hips towards the heels, give those shoulders a little break. Very nice. All right, we've got those final 3 drifts. So we're going to bring it up to that tall kneeling position. Knees under hips, under shoulders. Again, toes can be curled under if you want that little bit of extra support. That's totally fine. Arms come out nice and long, nice strong core, nice strong quads. Here we go. We got 3 of them. Drifting it back. And bringing it back up. 2 more. Excellent work, excellent work. After that last one, we're bringing it down for that last set of our Supermans with our lat pulls. So go ahead and walk your way on out onto the mat after your third one. When you're ready, taking those 3 Supermans, so it's that lift, inactive, out, and down. Keeping it moving just like that, nice and controlled. Work on pulling those shoulder blades together when you get to the top. After that third one, we've got that final time in our Cobra, baby Cobra, or Sphinx. And last time, again, downward facing dog to child's pose. If you want to skip that down dog, you are welcome to just meet us in that child's pose. And bring those knees down wide, hips back towards the heels. One nice deep breath here. I've just got 2 little stretches for us. We're going to hit our puppy and our spinal twist from our puppy to finish us out this evening. Before we get down to the final seconds, my same announcement as at the beginning. If you missed it, I'm just going to change the password to the meeting. The link will be a little bit different, but it'll still work. If it asks you for the passcode, it will be fitness, all lowercase. So the word fitness, all lowercase. Let's make our way into that puppy. Hips come over top of those knees. Walking those hands out nice and long. Press the chest down towards the mat. Maybe the forehead meets the mat. And let's find our spinal twist. Right arm is going to circle underneath, is going to loop underneath in between that left hand and those knees. Right shoulder meets the mat. Top of that right hand meets the floor on the opposite side. Just for that nice, easy spinal twist. If you like that half bind or that rotation, you can find it. One nice deep breath there. All right, let's bring it through center over to that other side. Final stretch here before we make our way back to our comfortable seated. Left hand comes underneath. Top of the left hand meets the mat. Shoulder meets the mat. One nice deep breath. Walk it back out to center for me last time. And then I'm going to walk it in and set my hips to the side to bring it over to comfortable seated. And that change in password applies to both Monday yoga and Wednesday yoga and Pilates. So if you join me for either of those, fitness, all lowercase. All right, let's take 2 nice deep breaths to finish us out here. Second one, those palms meet up overhead. Inhale takes us out and up. Nice big stretch, long away from center. Exhale circles us down and around. Last one, those palms meet up overhead. Inhale takes us up. Palms meet. Exhale pulls the hands down to heart center. Thank you, as always, for joining me this Wednesday evening, best part of my day. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your night, fabulous rest of your week. The light in me honors the light in you. Bowing, as we say, namaste.